Hey everyone, it's Brett Hornby here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel here, and I think for this personal vlog here, I actually talk about something a lot more serious, and a lot of it's going to be speculative here, as you know, at the time as I'm recording this pandemic has been going around here. That is definitely affecting all of us in one way, shape, or form here. Regardless what line of work you're in, or, you know, if you're being educated right now, from all ages and sizes here, and also depending on where you work here. But this is going to be my first vlog number 78. I'm going to definitely ask or give my speculation on what could change after this pandemic here, because I'm going to say this is definitely one of the bigger worldly events that have happened here since 9/11. And I said then in 9/11 that happened obviously September 11th, 2001 there, with those terrorist attacks that happened in New York, Washington, and Shanksville, with the hijacked planes and, you know, running them into, you know, landmarks there, and, you know, killing civilians, and definitely has changed the how we look at travel. And I definitely still say the world has not been the same since then, over 18 and a half years later. And I believe, yeah, personal log 51, I talked about that, giving my reflections on it 18 years later here, that the world has not been the same since then, in terms of, you know, travel and interactions and people's attitudes and minds here. I'm going to say definitely been a lot more cautious when it comes to travel, and I'm going to say we've been definitely a lot more prideful and boastful, especially when it comes to showing patriotism to your country here. That was just some parts here, but I think after this pandemic here, there's going to be lots of things that I think is going to change, possibly forever, because of this. Definitely how we approach, how we interact, and how we, you know, pursue things going forward here. So before I get into the personal log, if you're new here, or if you're returning, thanks for watching. And if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fan's journey, just make sure you hit like, subscribe to follow along here. This is one of the minor things I do is personal vlogs, but mostly, you know, I do Calgary sports. And if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fan's journey, which all of our journeys, regardless if you're a sports fan or not here, definitely has been impacted with what's been going on here. So I'm just going to list off things on top of my head here that I think is going to change or could change forever. I don't know if necessarily going to say for the better or the worse, or just indifferent because of this here. I mean, the first one kind of ties in with 9/11 is appreciation for certain professions here. As after 9/11 here, definitely people appreciated first responders a lot more here. You know, police, fire, ambulance, they definitely, we were the first that came out and had to go into action, and may have given their lives, given the nature of, you know, the terrorist attacks here. But definitely first responders right now, as well as healthcare workers, anyone that works at grocery stores, you know, anyone that does transportation, like truck drivers, or, you know, transit drivers, or even taxi cabs. I think there's definitely going to be a lot more appreciation for those professions because of what's been going on here. Is some things still need to run despite what's been going on here, and they're definitely out in the front lines there in various ways, shapes, and forms dealing with the public here. And if you work in healthcare, and, you know, with the pandemic going on, you're definitely on the line. And there's definitely a lot of healthcare workers that have been affected by this in many ways here, and unfortunately some have passed away here. But I think definitely we're going to see a lot more appreciation for those professions here. And I'm going to say thanks to everyone who is doing, you know, their part on trying to keep everyone safe and healthy, especially those that are sick. And, you know, I'm doing my part because I at least work at home, and I've definitely been staying home. And this is one of the things I do, is make videos. But we're definitely going to see a lot more appreciation for those professions here. And I remember after 9/11 that, you know, it was 6 weeks roughly was Halloween. And a lot more people wanted to be police officers or first responders, firefighters, or, you know, paramedics as a Halloween costume. Could we see more of those Halloween costumes again this year for Halloween? And I'm not talking about just, you know, a woman pretending to be an extra sexy nurse. I'm just talking about people just saying, I want to be that for Halloween. Or in younger kids. Because of all of this. That definitely is going to say. And that kind of leads into the next thing about, you know, appreciation for professions here. Going now into the retail. And also the fact, you know, as this is all about being sanitary here, more respect to the janitors and any, you know, sanitation or cleaning workers. They're definitely going to have to get more appreciation as they're also in the front lines here. And also going in back into the retail, especially in the grocery stores here. I think we're starting to realize that those people that, you know, making the least amount of money there, we're realizing how important they are. And, you know, I think hopefully from this, they're going to get more respect. And maybe realizing that, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe we should pay these guys and people a lot more. Pay these people, men and women, a lot more, treat them a lot more respect here. And maybe the fact that robots cannot totally, you know, replace them. As that, you know, we need these people to do those jobs to keep the stores going, keep them stocked, keep them running here. I do also think they definitely need to enforce limits a lot more from this. Because there's been too many people. I mean, seriously, you don't need to buy 17 years supply worth of toilet paper. But the stores can definitely have to maybe do their part and limit the quantities. So that, you know, I don't want to say, well, thanks to you because you bought 17 years worth of, you know, toilet paper. The rest of us can't get what we need tomorrow. But definitely you're going to see hopefully more appreciation for those workers, you know, supplies and that maybe some of these higher ups, just wishful thinking, realizing that, you know, those people are very vital to the company and they should maybe be treated a lot better and paid a lot more because, I mean, those people higher up, they make more money in a couple hours than the average person makes working a whole year. But we're definitely going to have to see more appreciation for them. And the fact that because of what's going around here, this will probably be permanent now, but there's more barriers at stores to separate you from people, customers, and the people that work there because they got to be there. People that go shop there, they come and go. I think you're going to probably see those barriers permanently here, not just because of what's been going around now, but how about people just have a regular cough or cold? You know, they want to be protected. And also from robberies. You're definitely, I think you're going to start seeing that there permanently. So that's just my first couple points there. What I think could change from this is appreciation on various professions. Those that have been out there and, you know, maybe this will realize that maybe we should pay them more and treat them a little better. And also, you know, given that I'm trying to limit my, you know, exposure and the fact that I'm working at home, which is just still somewhat good to still do that. Could we see more deliveries, especially when it comes to, I mean, there's obviously food deliveries, Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, and DoorDash here. Those are the big ones here in this area. But could we see even more deliveries? Not just traditional Chinese food or pizza. That used to be the king of getting your food delivered. But now you're going to start seeing more deliveries. As, you know, more people want to stay in, regardless of what's been going around here. Maybe, you know, you might see more deliveries, even at fancier restaurants, where it's like, you know, I'd be fine with having a fancier meal, even if it's in a delivery form, so I could stay at home and watch movies, or the news, or the game, or I don't want to go out. are we going to see even more of an increase in delivery services and more restaurants either using those said services or contracting their own delivery? I think you're definitely going to see more of that, because that's another viable way for restaurants to still make some money and people to enjoy their food here. Is personally, that's how I've been enjoying a lot more other restaurants, is getting it delivered, because there's just times where the guys don't want to feel it going out, or I don't want to put on decent pants or that kind of thing, and it's cold outside or it's late. I think that could change too. And as well, speaking of delivery here, I'm definitely going to be probably using this more often, is here where I live, Save on Foods, the grocery chain, delivers. I think there's definitely going to be a lot more of that going forward, even after when this is over, is that I think you're going to see an increase in grocery store delivery. Same with restaurants here. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I don't have a car. I have to take the bus. How about if I want to, get a big run of groceries here? I mean, I live fairly close to grocery stores, but I still got to carry it for several blocks and potentially maybe up to 20 minutes here. That, this might be more practical for if I want to do a big order, get a delivery, have the person come here, deliver it, and drop my stuff off here. I think you're going to see more of that, and that could be a good way, because then, if people don't have vehicles, or maybe once again don't want to go out, or, be able to get what they need, get it delivered, you're going to probably see an increase of that. I know in the States there's other more delivery services here. I know there's Instacart, but, I think that app as well. But I think I'll definitely be using Save on Foods a lot more, even after whenever this is gone, because of, not having the resources to make a big run. And it might be worth paying the fee to have it all delivered to you. And, you do hear Amazon is even trying to consider getting into the grocery store delivery service. So you're going to see more of that, I think, going forward here. So like I say, I think the next thing we can go over, as I mentioned, working at home here. But I also remember growing up and going to school. Everyone kept saying, well, in the future here, you're not going to be going to school to go to school. And, we're going to start seeing it now, because, schools are closed everywhere and teachers are online here, and also working at home here. Could we still see more at-home education, at-home school? I mean, there's still going to be the traditional go to school, as in go to a building here. But could we start seeing maybe more virtual classrooms? Maybe you still got to go to school if you have a big assembly or big project to do. But if it's a day-to-day lesson, or maybe even possibly doing exams, could that be done at home going forward here? Could we see that what they told us in school there in the future, you could just be at home and go to school, they'll go to school here? Because that's how, K-12 is getting their schooling in now. And, those that are in post-secondary institutions, college, university, where they're taking the rest of their courses online and doing their exams online here. I did have a little taste of doing a little bit of schooling online here. I know a couple years ago, I used the app Coursera, where I do have my fascination with mountains and the Canadian Rockies. And I took that Mountains 101 course here. That was a free virtual course. I did actually pay to get the certificate there. It does take some discipline, though, to be able to do the courses online on your pace there, and definitely you got to follow along the videos there, and you got to try to remember that, and then do the test there. That definitely has to take some getting used to here, but I think you're going to probably see a lot more, virtual classrooms here, and also the fact that, working at home here, I'm definitely going to see myself potentially employing that more often here with the higher speed internet here, and also the fact that it's a lot easier. I mean, plus I feel where I work now, I definitely have teams and groups of people that I think I support a lot more than where I used to work here. That's where it kind of got ingrained out of me about that working at home here, because it comes down to who you work with and the team you work with. But it wasn't high-speed internet then, but I'm definitely going to be working at home a little more often when I need to. Let's say if I am a little sick, but not sick enough to totally shut it down. Or, I might try to employ that more often, where I can maybe have a little more fun during the week and say, kind of work at home because I'm going to be up late doing this. I mean, yeah, there's some sacrifices and you have a smaller workstation here, but if you don't have something big that you have to do, but just you get your work done, there is still some flexibility. There's still some discipline still involved that I've noticed since I have been working at home. But I try to make this work the same-ish hours. And the beauty with working at home is that I can go take a nap at lunchtime, which that's something you can't do there. But the other thing with the working at home that might actually create more jobs here, because you might have some people that maybe it's a struggle for them to be in an office, but they're able to still do the work. Maybe it's a disability or various circumstances here that you might have some people that could still do work, but they can work at home. That's definitely another thing that could change after all this. And also the fact that I work in the engineering planning industry, maybe we're going to even go even more paperless here, since, we're still deemed essential, even the Alberta government here, and I still got big projects going on here that maybe, it could save companies some money, that maybe we're not going to print as much paper. As I have noticed, because I've been in the engineering plan industry for almost 14 years here, that we print off less sets from when I started. Where I used to work, we used to be next door to a printing company, but, now we send more PDF sets, drawing sets out that way, and now you have more to be able to have your tablet on the go and make notes or changes on that, and working over the cloud here. We're definitely going to be, I think, even more paperless here, and that could save some money on, printing and ink and all that. I know recently in my office we only have one printer now, and given that we've all been working at home for almost a month here, we might be printing even less once we ever get back at it here. So I'm going to say definitely going to be a lot more working at home. It might be some people that might actually get a job, be able to work at home for various reasons. Now, this is where it's going to be interesting here, is gatherings. It's going to be a while before we're going to be comfortable going to big gatherings again. Let's say events, sporting events, maybe at a show, theater. That's definitely going to change now. And how we greet people. Because you might not see people shaking hands anymore. It's going to be interesting to see how we're going to greet people. Just in a business sense. Let's say if you go to the bank, or you go to, conduct business, or let's say you have an interview, seeing clients whenever we feel more comfortable to meet in person again. Are we going to see an end of this? Shaking hands. Because we're going to be so used to being so social distancing here, that it's going to be a while. That kind of goes back to the 9/11 there, where things were suddenly more scary and people were conducting more background checks and asking questions about various things. We'll just keep it that way. But it's going to be interesting how we greet people, or just friends, or general here. I mean, especially if you finally go on a date with someone, or meeting a woman, for example, for a guy. We're going to be thinking twice about shaking hands, or hugging, or saying how you do. Is it going to be the old-fashioned, the guys will do this, and the ladies will do this? Can we see that again? I don't know. I mean, going back to, me changing employers many years ago, I remember, you might see more of this. Because I remember one of the partners that was introducing me as I was starting the company there, he's like, I have a cold here, let's just do this. That fist bump thing. Can we see more of that in the business now? I was like, yeah, thanks for conducting my application. Here we go. Or do a PewDiePie bro fist. Could we see more of that? in interactions, in that sense. And also, how long is it going to take before we feel comfortable going back to games again? I mean, there's definitely going to have to be a lot more incentive to get fans back to the game here. And I'll definitely, believe me, I'm definitely going to be anxious to get back into sport events whenever it's deemed safe to do so, because that's definitely one thing that is taken away from me, is that. How are we going to do that going forward? I mean, we're definitely going to be thinking twice again. Same with travel, with the extra security, the questions, and the extra time to process to make sure you're not insane and you don't have bombs with you and you don't plan on hijacking it and crashing into tall buildings here. But you're also going to be getting those questions, just going to gatherings in general, and same with travel, about how are you feeling? Because there might be more restrictions on if you are sick or if you have a cold, that you might not be allowed to go to these gatherings. I mean, there is some sporting events that maybe I felt so-so and I still went, but it wasn't to this extent what's been going on now. But there is other times that, I was feeling crappy that I decided to miss the game. I can't give myself a game time decision, at least to that extent, just because, having to leave and go out and dealing with other people. I think I have some of that sense there, where if I was really, really sick, I would stay home, because there has been some events that I have stayed home. Not big events. I mean, it's going to take a lot for me to miss, let's say, a Grey Cup, or if I went to a big playoff game. It would definitely have to take a lot here, but it's definitely going to be interesting how gatherings are going to go. Not only just with sporting events, but let's say, future Calgary Stampedes, or, places of worship, or going to shopping centers when people aren't panic buying and there's less restrictions here, because now I have started seeing that they mark on the floor social distancing is how we get. I mean, that's the thing, it's going to definitely take a lot more space here, but is it going to be how we're going to wait in line for anything? Is that going to change forever, or is it going to be like this for the next couple of years? I mean, this is all just speculative in my part here on what could change after this pandemic. I mean, it's definitely going to take years to get somewhat normalcy again, where we don't think about these things, just like 9/11, where suddenly everything was more scary and people were thinking more things that we haven't thought of before. That's how I'm comparing it to this year. So how is large gatherings going to be handled now? I mean, I know that all facilities and buildings, there's always a capacity control for fire codes, but how is that going to be enforced after this, when it's still going to be fresh in our mind here? I mean, hopefully eventually there'll be a vaccine or some kind of, therapy that we can use to combat this, so we can be able to get back to our normal lives and function like real people again. But it's definitely how we interact, or be able to, use public places. I mean, I think you're definitely going to see a lot more focus on sanitation, either on buses, washrooms, or restaurants, food joints, anything where potential cross-contamination comes to play. I mean, I used to work at a deli at a grocery store back in the day. As one of my many crummy jobs here, that I had to take a food safety thing, and it's just a generic, cross-contamination. And you do know that 4 to 60 degrees, that's the prime area for bacteria to grow. That's where you gotta manage your food there. But also, the last thing with gatherings here is movie theaters. Could this change the movie industry in terms of how we consume movies? Because one of the reasons that I haven't been to movies for a while is the fact that I don't really feel like going to a movie theater, being in a room with other people. And let's say if there's a family-ish movie that it's like, I would like to watch that, but it just optically won't look good as a middle-aged guy going on his own to go to a movie with a bunch of other families here, because, being a guy, middle-aged, people get stereotypical things about me. But, could we see maybe a return of more drive-ins? The old-fashioned drive-in, go to the theater. There's still some out here, but Could we see those come back? More of that, so you can still watch your movies. Get a couple movies, yeah, it's at nighttime. Or, could we get some kind of maybe indoor driving? Just saying. So you can show movies all day. That's just something I just thought of. So where you could still maybe some way be isolated, or if you really really want to go, you can have rent a car or have some kind of different isolation area to watch a movie. Or you gotta wonder, why hasn't not been done yet? Where there has to be maybe a new model, maybe to get people to watch movies, where I can watch a re-release movie, still pay for my movie, watch it on demand here after a certain time, and then have the option to maybe download it when it comes available. I'm surprised Cineplex, which is here in Canada, that's the big movie company here, where I would like to be able to watch maybe a new release movie at home. You gotta wonder, will that happen some way? Where people could still watch movies in the traditional way, going out to the theater with friends. But there's other movies that I actually wouldn't mind seeing. Let's say, a kiddie or family movie that it looked good that I would like to watch, but I'd like to watch it at home at my own time without being prejudged. I'm just keeping it real here. That's why I don't do it, and it's just feeling the circumstances. But then even then, I don't consider myself anti-social or pro-social either. It's just, when you're single and on your own and all your friends and that are busy with their lives and they're available, and if you want to watch the movie now, I do a lot of things on my own here, so it definitely would be nice if, you can watch movies on demand, on the go, new releases. Yeah, there's various services that's out there, but I'm talking about a movie that got released, this weekend, and you would like to watch it, but let's say if it's crappy outside, or if you're not feeling well, or your friend's not available, or have them come to your place, have your own party, that'd be the only thing, is that could stop it. That the movie industry is, well, we want you to come to the theater, because let's say if you go with 10 people, you buy 10 tickets. Whereas suppose, let's say, for hypothetically, if there's that option where I would say charge a little more, so you can watch a new release movie on demand at home. That's where it gets tricky. I can see that sense where I could round up a bunch of friends come to my place and watch the movie, and it would just be me paying for it. I don't know, but movies still make more money on markups on concessions there, and you can get that delivered to you too. So don't know, but these are just a lot of my speculations on what could change after this pandemic. Thinking of appreciation for professions that we've never shown as much appreciation for. Put them on the same pedestal, let's say, as a superhero, or give more respect to the frontline workers, those who do the cleaning jobs or the retail jobs. That maybe they'll get more respect here, because I know a lot of these places have been offering a premium because of people are also been busier than ever, dealing with frantically people, and there is some people that I still think hasn't practiced the distancing here, but it's just our outlook, how we interact, looking at certain professions. Could we use technology more to get educated, work at home? Those are a lot of things that's on my mind. And now, going back to 9/11 and travel here, there's going to be more line of screening and questioning now, not only with terrorism potential from 9/11 here, but there's definitely going to almost be checkups now. Just general checkups on, are you well enough to travel? And I mean, the airline industry definitely needs to figure something out where if you're suddenly sick, you need to get refunded or get somewhat compensated, or if you can't go. But these are just the many, many things that's on my mind here. And this is definitely beauty, is that I'll have this out here, and hopefully down the road here, we'll look back on and say, this is what we had to deal with then, we survived it, hopefully, and we're back ever before. Yeah, I guess another thing I just thought of is these crazy groups called anti-vaxxers. What are they going to think about this now? That we're still waiting for a vaccine for this thing. And also the fact that, is that going to change now? And, maybe we need it after all. And how many of those groups? I mean, there's always going to be conspiracy theories out there. As you see a ton, people like to speculate, or, people that are on the far end of either end of the spectrum and come up with their crazy theories and that. But I don't believe the, because why would someone make this and destroy world economies all over? And I guess speaking of world economies, since it started where it started here, could we see a lot more domestic jobs now? Hopefully this maybe could create more domestic jobs where more manufacturing is done locally. Even if it costs more, but then if stuff like this happens again with something else, that it won't shut things down as much here. I mean, we all have had a lot on our minds here, but these are just all the things I'm thinking about, is how we interact in the future. Big gatherings, how we travel, how we shop, how we eat, how we consume media, how we go to sporting events. I mean, what do you think could change after all this? I definitely give you my various thoughts here, and it just seems like we're once again we're thinking of things that we have never thought of before. That it takes these things to change things, and it's just how far going down the road it's going to change here. I mean, hopefully there's some good. There might be some bad here, but economies are definitely going to change forever here, and hopefully maybe this could also maybe close the gap a little between the rich and poor here. I mean, I'm all for capitalism. If I came up with an idea that everyone consumes, I should have, as much money as it takes, or as it have, if I came up with an idea here. But there definitely is a problem where you have people that are, down here doing important work that can't make it and get by, or need to work, several jobs, and also the cost of living and all that too. But that's maybe a rant for another time here. But yeah, just definitely going on here. But we all have full minds right now, and a lot of our minds on what could change of this. But this is definitely one of my serious personal vlogs here. But it's definitely would be nice whenever we get back out of here and going to a sporting event, going to, let's say, a big gathering. It's gonna, those things are always gonna be in my mind, but it's gonna be extra emotional to take those in again, because you're also realizing when you're inside, I'm doing my part to combat this thing, and I'm still able to work from home here and maybe consume some media some way. But it's just the fact that everyone, all these things are going to be on your mind. And I meant to say, you realize there's things you miss that is taken away. It's that old say, you don't know if you have it till you don't have it, or you don't know you have till you lose it. And we're definitely going through all that here. So I think I'll leave it at that here. So if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fan's journey, home to Flames, Hitmen, Roughnecks, and Stampeders, I mostly talk Calgary sports, and there still has been some sports content, mostly stuff being paused or postponed or canceled here, and give my speculations on when it will come back with all the stuff that I've been talking about here. But that's what I mostly do. I also do personal vlogs like this where I talk about anything on my mind, and it was fitting that I had to talk about this as opposed to ranting about pigeons again. I've already have enough videos of ranting about them. And I also do attempt a comedy. So if that sounds like you all be interested to watch, do follow along with this Calgary sports fan's journey. Just to make sure you hit like, subscribe, you know what you need to do. I also have my other social media links down in the description below there. So as I say, I have Flames gear on, so I say go Flames go, and hopefully we'll see red come back again sooner rather than later, and get back to cheering on our sports teams again, and everyone gathers it like normal, and hopefully everyone stays safe and healthy and be able to combat this thing and somewhat keep sanity here. But I mean, I admit it's definitely been a challenge myself here, and mentally here. This is one of the things I do to cope, but yeah, I say it's a little solace to me, but I mean, we're all in this together, but hopefully sooner we can get through it, sooner we can get back at it. But things are definitely going to change because of this, what I've gone on about here, and I'll just say I'll see you in the next video here.